Hey everyone, Jerry here. This evening's topic is my version of the DIY Herbie modification to twin drain overflow to quiet it down and to reduce CO2 degassing. So without further ado, here we have, this is my CPR model CS102 overflow, and it has two drains, as you can see. The Herbie modification basically is to convert one to what they call a full siphon drain, which would take the majority of your water flow from the tank to the sump, and the other one is your emergency overflow. So in case your full siphon gets blocked for some reason, the water would then flow down your emergency standpipe or drain, right? And then it would still get into the sump and you'd be good to go. So what I did here is I made my left side my full siphon and my right my emergency. And to make this work, basically what you need to do is on your full siphon drain line, but I did it on both so I can switch them or make them interchangeable as needed, or just for maintenance, is I made both of them the same. So what you have to do basically is put a ball valve on the drain so you can adjust the flow a little bit. It's normally recommended to have it closer to the sump, but I chose right under the overflow for two reasons. The one, I don't like to bend, so it's easier for me to reach, so accessibility is a big one. And the second is I can shut the drain off here, and then there will be no water in the intake tubes down to the sump. So it would be very easy to shut this off and turn the valves off and then lift the CPR overflow right off the... There's one of my cats trying to get into the cabinet stand. Sorry about that. So in any event, basically what you do here is your full siphon, what you do, so there's two things you have to do here. I'm going to reverse engineer this. This is obviously how it works now, and it's working pretty well. If I shut up, I'll let you hear my overflow. So I don't think that's very loud at all. And basically all it requires to do this modification is, once you have your ball valve, obviously, you also need a standpipe. And a standpipe is basically just a piece of PVC piping. I put an elbow on it, and I'll show you why in a minute. And that's basically it. And then the other side is your full siphon, and I just have a sponge with one of those strainers on the inside of it, to trap some larger particulate matter, and that way you can squeeze this out every other day and less stuff gets into the sump. So I'm babbling away here at the 3-minute mark. So what I'm going to do is, you can see how this works now, is that basically I close this valve a little bit by, hold on, let me back up. So by adding the standpipe, and I'll show you in a minute, this automatically raises the level of water in your overflow, which will reduce the waterfall effect, which reduces noise, and which also reduces CO2 off-gassing, right? However, it won't get you all the way up to the level that you want, where you can see there's water movement, but there's no splashing and hopefully little off-gassing, or less anyway. Where was I? Sorry. So what'll happen is I have the... okay, so the other thing you need to do is you need to, like I said, close the drain on the emergency siphon, and that will back the water flow up to get it to the level that you want. So now I'm going to deconstruct this, and basically what I'm going to do first is I'm going to open up the full siphon drain, and you can see immediately that that the flow is a little bit, see, the water in the overflow is reducing below the level of the standpipe that I had before, right? And you'll hear there's more noise now. Right. So then if we remove the standpipe, sorry, I had this out a minute ago. There we go. So we take that out. And basically that's what it would be. I can't believe I don't have that other sponge with me. That's what it would be as normal. Right? So to change this, and obviously, there would be another sponge here which would quiet it somewhat. I completely agree with that. But if you look here now, you can see the deep waterfall that the water is going to hit, and then it's going to feel turbulent at the bottom, and it will make more noise and the gas CO2. So basically, what you do is you just take a piece of 1-inch PVC, at least for this model, and you just cut it at a couple inches to where you want the water level to be. I add this 45-degree elbow to it because it makes it even quieter. So basically you just take your standpipe and you insert it into your emergency drain, right? And you set that, and that immediately makes things a lot quieter than it was. And eventually what will happen is the water will level out, and you'll see that basically what I want to do. Eventually the water level will even out here, and I would have to start closing this valve, right? So eventually it'll get there, probably. It's going to make a liar out of me now that I'm standing here trying to document this. How annoying is that? So you can see that theoretically you want this emergency siphon to only be down to about here, just so it trickles in. You don't want to take it up. You don't want to take in that much. But you can hear now, see, there we go. The water's finally starting to level out. There we go. So there must have been some air and different things in the system. So now you see that the water level is lower than I'd like. So here now is where I would start to close this valve, and I'm turning it a lot because the precision is not there. It's like a $3.50 valve, so I don't expect too much of it, right? So, and you just keep turning that, closing that, and eventually the water in the overflow will rise, and you just adjust your ball valve until you get it to where you want. And now if I shut up, you'll hear that it's quiet again. A lot less turbulence. You still have good flow. Now obviously to me your emergency drain is compromised somewhat because you shut it to slightly to increase the water level in the overflow box, but theoretically some of that is going to go down the emergency siphon. So it balances out, but you do lose a little flow. But honestly, I much prefer this quiet version. So that's about it, everybody. I hope that wasn't too boring. Sorry for the mental lapses there. I don't have a script that I'm reading from, and it's not a really slick National Geographic type production here. So, and that's about it, but I'll show you the tank that this is attached to. This is my 75 gallon. This is the Cypress knee skate that Tom put together for me. So I'm liking the left side better than the right because I like using the Java window loaf here, which is very nice. Sorry about that. And you see the bulbitis in the back. It kind of looks nice. I like it. Here's some Sunset Cryptic Corynea that Tom had sent me. It's filling out really nicely in here. I took some from this side this morning, and I put it over to the right side. On the right side, you can't see, there you go. I'm using, again, bulbitis in the back, but this is the needle leaf Java, which doesn't look good there, but I'm growing that out as a favor to a friend, and then I'm going to send it to them. But there's some Trident in the back there. I'm going to replace all of this with more Windelov, so it'll be balanced out. And then, like I said, I grabbed these crypts this morning from the other side and planted them. And the Downoi is runty, but those are all the little offshoots from the mother plants, which I transplanted this morning to the 57 gallon. So that's why these are all small and runty, and I'll grow these out again. And then here I have some Hygrophila araguaea that I'm thinking about letting, just spread over to this entire midsection, and then I would just have, the Downoi would just come out. And then those are my Phantom Tetras, as they're called. I have about, 12 to 14 of them. I think I bought 16 and 1 or 2 jumped out. And that's about it, folks. All right, later, enjoy.